In the quiet before sleep, you discover the gentle sway of the universe where nothing truly moves in a straight line. The cosmos, like a slow dance, bends and flows, inviting your mind to follow its soft curves. As your thoughts drift, you learn that what seems clear and simple is actually a graceful journey through bends and arcs. Much like the ebb and flow within yourself, you settle into your bed, a soft nest crafted just for this moment, a pause between the bustle of day and the mystery of night. Your body relaxes, heavy yet delicate, as your breathing slows, weaving a rhythm like the tide's gentle pulse. The world outside grows dimmer, and here, in this quiet cocoon, your mind is free to wander. Have you ever noticed how the world seldom moves in straight lines? Look around. The trees outside your window reach upward, but not straight. They curve, lean, sometimes twist toward the sun. The rivers that carve landscapes flow not in bold, rigid beams, but in gentle bends, meandering, as though they are humming a soft melody. Even the light traveling toward you refuses to march forth in a linear path. It curves around obstacles, bends through lenses, dances through waves. The universe itself seems to prefer this softer way, this quiet bending. Imagine for a moment that the shortest distance between 2 points isn't the sharp, unyielding straight line you learned about in school. Instead, it's a winding path, like the gentle arc of a branch swaying in the breeze, or the looping trail of a firefly drifting through the night. This is a secret you come to learn as you settle deeper, eyelids growing heavy, heart steady. Straight lines are more an invention of the mind than of the natural world. Centuries ago, ancient minds dreamed of perfect lines, drawing them obsessively rulers and compasses, guiding them to measure, plan, and build. To them, straight lines symbolized control, reason, and clarity. After all, it feels satisfying to connect to places, with the simplest path, to place bricks in neat rows, and to chart a course with a clear arrow. But nature quietly chuckles at such precision. It tells a different story. Close your eyes and picture the earth itself, not a flat plane, but a round, softly curving globe beneath your feet. If you were to walk directly ahead, trying to make a perfectly straight path, your footsteps would trace a gentle arc without realizing. This curved journey underpins all our travels, all the routes of birds navigating the sky, the voyages of ships crossing vast oceans, the flights of planes tracing high arcs overhead. The straight line you've been taught is a shape that fits neatly on paper, but the real path arcs with the curve of the world down. Imagine wrapping a thin thread around a globe from one city to another. When you tighten it, the thread rises gently over the highest points, dipping and curving. It doesn't lie flat. This is not merely an oddity, but a glimpse into the geometry of the universe that is far more gentle and subtle than the sharpness of a ruler's edge. This feeling of curves and bends extends beyond the earth. Look up at the night sky. Stars and planets trace arcing paths as they travel their orbits. The moon doesn't march in a straight line across the heavens. It slowly loops and twists in a dance with gravity. The planets circle their suns on elliptical paths, grand ellipses, that pull them just enough to keep them from flying off into the vast darkness. Even light itself, the fastest traveler in existence, humbly bows to this bending. When it skirts past massive stars, it follows the warped curves of space, tracing arcs and loops in a silent testament to the universe's elasticity. Here in your quiet room, this knowledge settles gently on you, like moonlight slipping through curtains. The idea that the universe itself flows in curves speaks to something deep inside your own body. Your heartbeat doesn't tick out in rigid, mechanical ticks, but swells and falls like waves on a shore. Your breath loops in and out, a continuous, curved rhythm, never a flat line. Inside you, blood travels through winding vessels, carefully arcing to deliver life. These curves are not imperfections or compromises. They are the universe's way of whispering balance, of blending strength and grace. A straight branch snaps in the wind, while a curved one bends and survives. A river flowing in a sharp trajectory erodes its banks, but a winding river spreads its power gently, shaping the land with patience. Now, imagine yourself as a traveler on this curved path, not rushing toward a destination but flowing with it. Your thoughts may spiral, meander, or pause, just like the rivers and branches you have seen. This path is slow, sure, and steady. Curves give space for change, for growth, for the unexpected. Light and space move this way, bound, not by harsh edges, but by undulating slopes and dipping valleys. Even time, that silent companion through your days and nights, shares in this curvaturous lowing near massive stars, stretching and folding in ways that shape the rhythm of all existence. So as you settle deeper between the pillows and the blankets, imagine your mind following these curvy soft arcs, stretching across the vast cosmos and the delicate vessels within your own body. Let your thoughts drift gently along, with no need to rush or judge. In the spaces between each breath, the universe hums this quiet lesson again. Nothing lasts forever in a straight line. The true journey is a curve, a slow unfolding, a gentle bend that leads onward. And with that, you begin to wonder if the very fabric of existence bends and loops so naturally. What adventures might your mind embark upon next as it floats softly into sleep? What hidden curves and swirling dances await to be discovered beyond the edges of your thoughts? The path before you is not straight, and it does not demand you travel fast. Instead, it invites you to flow, to twist, to wander, and in that wandering, to find a deep, calming peace. As your eyes close, think of the curve, the gentle arc in the sky, the bending river, the swirling galaxy. Let it lull you gently, a promise that the journey ahead will be soft, slow, and full of quiet wonders. As you breathe slowly, you begin to sense the universe's soft fabric, where space and time weave together in endless curves. Nothing stands fixed. Everything flows across an invisible stage, shaped by gravity's gentle hands. Here, time itself bends and stretches, unfolding like a ripple in a pond, inviting you to follow its quiet, graceful rhythm into restful wonder. Lie back once more, feel the weight of your body gently pressing into the mattress, the soft whisper of sheets cradling you. Your breath flows slow and deep, curling softly like mist, curling around a newborn leaf. Now, imagine stepping beyond your room, past the stars visible through your window, into a vast, living fabric stretching endlessly all around you. This isn't just space, this is space-time, a delicate tapestry where every thread bends, curves, and folds. For much of history, people imagined space as a smooth, unyielding stage, flat, silent, and still. Like a giant sheet of paper, planets and stars drift aimlessly, light beams shoot forward unreversed. But as your mind drifts now into the softness of night, a quieter truth unfolds. Space is fluid and flexible, like a vast, invisible silk sheet, drawn tight but easily bowed. To understand this, picture a rubber sheet stretched tight. If you gently place a marble on it, the sheet dips slightly beneath the weight. Now imagine rolling another marble along the sheet. Instead of simply gliding straight, it arcs inward, pulled toward the depression. But no invisible force is tugging the marble, it simply follows the curved surface beneath it. This vivid picture is Einstein's great insight. Gravity is not a mysterious tug, but the shape of space itself, bending beneath mass. The stars and planets don't so much pull and push as they dance gracefully on curves, shaped by invisible wells and hills in this cosmic fabric. Take a moment now to picture the Earth, not as a flat map, but a gentle bubble cradled in this curved space-time. The sun's mass bows, space around it like a colossal hand, gently pressing on a soft cushion. Earth and other planets move not in strict lines, but arcs that fold eternally into grand ballets, weaving through the curves carved by gravity. Light, to the fastest traveler you can imagine, cannot escape this dance. Even beams of light bend as they skim past massive stars, sliding along the contours of warped space. It's a humbling reminder that the very concept of a straight line fades under the canopy of this cosmic softness, and space does not bend alone. Time, that familiar rhythm marking your days and nights, is sewn inseparably into this fabric. Space and time exist as partners in a four-dimensional dance, a continuum physicists call space-time. When space bows, time bends with it. It's astonishing, but true. Time itself ticks at different speeds depending on where you are. If a clock were placed atop a tall mountain and another buried deep in Earth's heart, the one higher up would tick just a bit faster. The difference is tiny, almost imperceptible, but undeniable. Imagine this ripple in time as a slow-motion wave, stretching and contracting on the surface of a quiet pond. The farther from the gravitational heavy stars, black holes, the faster your moments will flow. The closer you are to something massive, time seems to lean in, slow down, like a reluctant breath held beneath deep water. And this effect isn't just a curiosity, it's essential. Without accounting for the bending of time, the satellites giving your GPS location would lead you wildly astray. Your phone's directions to the nearest coffee shop would become an epic quest gone wrong. Now, let your imagination float upwards, beyond Earth and its satellites. Dive deeper into the realms influenced by gravity's tender curves. Near a black hole, space folds dramatically, like silk caught in a sudden storm. Time stretches and dilates so much that an hour for you might unravel into years for someone, even a little farther away. Here, the laws of everyday life give way to mysterious rhythms, a reminder that time casts no universal shadow. Instead, every place in the cosmos experiences its own tempo, its own melody, that as you breathe slowly, you realize that your own heartbeat dances in sync with this cosmic rhythm. Your moments aren't isolated beats on a rigid metronome, but part of the great curve flowing everywhere. Faster here, slower they're woven together in a dynamic whole. In this grand fabric, MASS whispers to space how to curve, and space pulls back softly, guiding mass. It is not a tug-of-war, but an intricate choreography. Imagine planets as dancers, each tracing elegant arcs around the warm spotlight of their stars, moving as though following trails carved into invisible hills and valleys. These paths aren't forced. They are natural, beautiful, and precise. Even Earth's moon, quietly circling you right now, moves through such curved space, falling endlessly, always missing, tracing a looping path shaped by balance and motion. This curvature, far from chaos, creates harmony. It is nature's way of flowing without breaking, folding without crushing. Try to feel this with your breath. The inhale curves softly into the exhale. Your body bends through space without a sharp angle. This gentle ebb, the slow fall and rise of your chest is a humble echo of the universe's tender bends. And just as the Earth's orbit is an elegant spiral of fall and catch, so is your thought, circling ideas, weaving reflections, looping over questions that need no swift answers. Let your mind float along these gentle currents. The patience of these curves reassures. There is no need to rush, no need to fight the bend. For in their flow is strength and comfort, at the soft heartbeat of all things, moving through spacious time. Before you drift further, consider this thought. What if every moment you experience is part of an ongoing loop, a curve winding gently into the unknown? Perhaps life itself is less a race from one fixed point to another, and more a journey of endless gentle falls, quiet arcs, and graceful turns. And with that, your mind folds softly inward, blending space, time, and breath into a smooth, quiet lullaby from the universe itself. As your thoughts spiral slowly towards sleep, wonder gently, how might your journey through time and space shimmer differently if you could see the curves beneath every moment, every breath, every blink? As your body rests, imagine the silent glide of planets tracing their elegant arcs. These paths are not straight lines, but graceful curves shaped by the invisible hand of gravity. Their motion is a cosmic dance, a balance between momentum and attraction, inviting you into a slow, calming rhythm that echoes in your own heartbeat. Feel yourself sinking deeper into your bed, the comforting weight of the covers folding softly around you like a gentle promise. Your breath is a tide, steady and calm. Let your thoughts sail gently outward, carried by the quiet pulse of your heart. As we venture once again into the curved paths of the cosmos, look up in your imagination at the dark velvet sky, sprinkled with the soft shimmer of distant stars. Among them, planets trace their silent journeys. They do not rush, do not dart in straight lines. Instead, they follow loop-slow, ordered, graceful orbits. Every planet's path is an arc, a carefully balanced dance held together by two unseen forces, momentum pushing outward and gravity pulling inward. Imagine now a cannonball fired from a cliff. If you gently lob it, it falls near the base of the cliff. Fire it harder, and it travels farther before meeting the ground. But what if, just what if, you could fire this cannonball fast enough, so fast that it never falls to the earth? Instead, it circles around, curving perfectly with the roundness below, forever falling, but never landing. That is an orbit. An orbit is a beautiful balance, a quiet conversation between motion and pull. The object wants to zoom straight ahead, but gravity gently insists it curve. Neither force wins outright. Together, they create a perfect loop, endless and serene. This is what Johann Kepler discovered centuries ago. Not perfect circles, as once thought, but ellipses, stretched ovals. Each planet curls around the sun, its path shaped like a soft, glowing loop, with the sun tucked just slightly offset to. It's like drawing a ribbon in the air, the curves born not from perfection, but from subtle balance. Take a moment to picture this ribbon in your mind's eye. Can you see how it sways, how it bends gently without breaking? Feel that rhythm echo softly in your body, the looping of your thoughts, the swell and fall of breath, the pulse of your heart. Gravity's hand is not harsh or jerking, but tender and precise, pulling and guiding with gentle insistence. Newton gave us the language to describe this, explaining how two bodies attract with a force that fades with distance, but never disappears entirely. Because of this, not just planets, but moons, satellites, and space dust all follow their curved arcs. The International Space Station, cruising some 250 miles above Earth's surface, is not suspended in place. Far from hovering, it is falling around the Earth in a delicate, controlled freefall, racing at over 17,000 miles per hour. It is caught in an eternal curve, never touching down, but never escaping down. Imagine a comet, far from the sun, living in the cold shadow of the outer solar system. For centuries, it rests, tracing a wide arc among distant stars. Then, it begins its inward fall, picking up speed as gravity calls it closer. It swings tight around the sun, glowing bright with vaporizing ice and dust, before trailing back out into the darkness once more. This comet's journey is a stretched ellipse, a grand looping journey through space and time. Even more exciting are those paths that do not loop back at all. Arcs so wide and fast that an object escapes the grip of gravity forever, moving in hyperbolic and parabolic curves. Spacecraft use these escape paths to travel beyond the planets, performing gravity assists that bend and boost their speed like a cosmic slingshot. Think of throwing a ball at a swiftly moving train. If it bounces off just right, it leaves with more speed than it arrived. So too, a spacecraft gains momentum by skimming the curved gravity well of a planet, artfully stealing a bit of its orbital energy to shoot itself onward into the void. There is a quiet elegance to these motions, how each curve folds into the next, how loops nest within loops, how celestial bodies move in nested orbits, moons circling planets, planets circling stars, stars circling the center of galaxies. Each path is a whisper of ceaseless motion, a pattern of balance and flow. Imagine that the sky itself is a grand ballroom, and every planet, moon and star is a dancer moving in careful patterns. They do not crash or stumble. Instead, they glide in lines stretched, taut and sharp, but in gentle arcs and flowing curves, as if their feet barely touch the floor. Your own heartbeat shares this rhythm. It does not beat like a metronome clicking straight and rigid, but pulses fluidly, curving forward in waves, creating life's enduring flow. And just as your body finds grace in curves, the universe embraces the same wisdom. Straight lines may seem neat and clear, but the dance of life, of planets, of light, and time itself unfolds in spirals, loops, and arcs. So now, as your breath continues its slow, steady sway, imagine tracing one of these cosmic loops with your mind, the orbit of a planet, a satellite's path, the curve of a comet's fleeter, slow, endless journey in a universe that prefers the gentle wisdom of the curve to the starkness of a straight line. Let that gentle curve lead you deeper into calm, pulling softly into the quiet spaces between thoughts, carrying you beyond worries and busyness into the peaceful rhythm of falling and flowing. And as your eyes begin to close, wonder quietly, what stories does the curve tell beyond sight? How many slow dances have played out in the vastness above? And where, in the quiet arcs of your own day-to-day moments, does the universe's soft curve echo within you? As your breath deepens and your pulse slows, rest in the knowledge that you are part of this endless dance-an unfolding curve, moving quietly among the stars. Now, as you relax deeper, let your thoughts drift toward the grand spirals shaping galaxies, storms, and seashells alike. The universe favors spirals, curves that grow without losing form, efficient and adaptable. From cosmic arms to plant seeds, this elegant pattern repeats, whispering through scales large and small, inviting you to embrace the gentle wisdom of nature's geometry. As you sink further into comfort, your mind floats outward again, beyond the gentle arcs of planets, and moons, to the vast, swirling shapes that fill the cosmos. Picture a spiral galaxy like our own Milky Way, a magnificent swirl of billions of stars tracing sweeping arms around a glowing center. These spirals are not just beautiful, they are cosmic signatures of motion, gravity, and time entwined. At first, you might think these spinning arms should tighten and blur away over time, like a ribbon wound ever tighter until it disappears. But the spiral arms endure, persistent and graceful, because they are not solid arms made of fixed stars. Instead, they are density waves, like cosmic traffic jams, where stars and gas slow and bunch up briefly before moving on, brightening and forming new stars along the way. Imagine a busy highway where cars slow down into a jam. The jam stays in place, even as individual cars accelerate through. That is the nature of these spiral patterns in galaxies. Waves of higher density moving through a flowing sea of stars and dust. As the galaxy spins, the inner regions whirl faster than the outer parts, stretching and shearing these arms into long, elegant swaths. This dynamic balance sustains the spiral shapes across millions and billions of years. Now, add to this the invisible, the mysterious dark matter that outweighs visible stars and gas. Dark matter forms a vast, unseen scaffold whose gravity holds the galaxy together, preventing its stars from flying apart as they swirl. Without it, these graceful structures would unravel. But spirals are not confined to galaxies alone. Look down closer, and you'll find spirals everywhere in nature. Hurricanes spin vast bands of wind and rain in wide spirals, powered by heat and shaped by Earth's rotation. Ocean currents swirl in great spirals, swirling water and heat around the planet's surface. Even in tiny seeds and shells, spirals appear in perfect harmony. A nautilus shell, crafted chamber by chamber over the life of the creature, grows ever larger but never loses its shape. Its chambers expand outward in a logarithmic spiral, a curve that grows but keeps the same proportions. This pattern also shows up in the horns of rams, the curling tails of seahorses, and the spiraled seed arrangements of sunflowers and pine cones. Within these spirals lies a secret, the Fibonacci sequence. Starting simply with 0 and 1, each new number is the sum of the two before 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so forth. Count the spirals on many flowers or seed heads, and you'll almost always find pairs of Fibonacci numbers. This mathematical sequence translates to the golden angle, about 137.5 degrees, the perfect spacing that lets seeds pack tightly without overlap, maximizing sunlight and space, a natural design optimized over millions of years. Nature doesn't calculate these numbers. Rather, through countless generations of growth and adaptation, the spiral shapes that work best have emerged and endured. Your own body carries echoes of this spiral logic. The cochlea in your inner ear is a tight, elegant spiral that helps your brain decode sound frequencies, while your fingerprints twist and curl in tiny spiral patterns unique to you. What matters most is not perfect precision, but self-similarity and efficiency. Spirals that grow, unfold, and expand without losing their form or function. This pattern repeats far beyond plants and animals, reaching into the realms of storms, oceans, and galaxies, linking scales vast and small in a harmony of motion and growth. As your thoughts drift softly along, imagine the stretch and fold of these spirals, endless yet organized, chaotic yet beautiful. Think of how each curve represents balance between expansion and stability, growth and form, motion and rest. Spirals allow for flexibility and resilience. They let structures grow bigger without wasting material. Let storms spiral energy inward toward calm eyes, and let galaxies spin for billions of years. In this way, spirals become a language, a quiet script written by nature itself, whispering to you of efficiency, elegance, and the gentle strength of curves. Let that thought settle with your breath, slow and steady, as you picture the swirl of a galaxy, the curl of a shell, and the soft spiral around your own thoughts. Each spiral is a looping path, a journey without sharp edges or sudden stops, like your breath, like your heartbeat, like life itself moving forward in gentle turns. As you continue to relax, notice the spirals within you and all around you. Let their calm strength carry you softly into a deeper rest, carried by the universal rhythm of curves and flow. Now, as you rest deeper, your thoughts may drift inward, to the hidden curves shaping life itself. From twisting arteries and branching lungs to flowing rivers and lightning's jagged paths. Nature's preference for curves is a quiet genius, born of survival and efficiency. These winding patterns create strength and resilience, embodying the gentle wisdom that shapes all living things and maybe even the rhythm of your own breath. As you settle further into calm, let your mind wander inward, tracing the winding networks that keep you alive. Inside your body, beneath the skin and muscle, there is a landscape carved from curves, a masterpiece of flow and form. Your arteries twist and turn like winding rivers, carrying fresh blood onward in a steady current. The veins loop gently back toward the heart, completing their endless circuit. Tiny branches of bronchial tubes split and split again, like an inverted tree inside your chest, delivering air to millions of tiny alveoli. These pathways are far from random. They are carefully engineered networks shaped by millions of years of evolution. Each curve isn't an accident, but a deliberate design born from the need to promote smooth, efficient flow. Engineers designing plumbing systems often prefer gentle bends over sharp turns. Sharp angles create turbulence, chaotic swirls that slow the fluid and damage the pipes. Your body has learned this same principle. Curving arteries help maintain laminar flow, the smooth, layered movement of blood that prevents strain and injury to vessel walls. When your heart pumps powerfully, this curved architecture diffuses energy gently, preventing shockwaves or harmful stresses. This is how your blood keeps flowing effortlessly, mile after mile. Your largest artery, the aorta, forms a graceful arch as it leaves the heart, elegantly bending to guide the pulse smoothly. Take a slow breath and imagine that arch, warm and alive, pulsing with energy, carrying life through bends and loops you never sense. Similarly, your lungs branching, airways curve and divide with exquisite precision. This fractal design repeats again and again, increasing the surface area for oxygen exchange to about 700 square feet, roughly the size of a small apartment folded compactly inside your chest. The curves also slow the airflow just enough, giving oxygen time to filter through the delicate walls of the alveoli into your bloodstream. They act like gentle ramps, easing life-giving air deeper inside. There's strength in these curves too. Engineers have known for thousands of years that arches and domes better distribute weight and resist breaking. Nature builds with the same wisdom. Curved vessels and tissues stretch, expand, and contract without snapping, offering the flexibility essential for living systems. Consider the sheer scale and demand. Your circulatory system endures daily, over 100,000 heartbeats, blood pumping through more than 60,000 miles of vessels, enough to circle the Earth twice. Straight, rigid tubes could never survive this constant strain, but curved, branching networks carry the flow resiliently and quietly, keeping life humming. Evolution favored these curved paths because they work. Fish, mammals, birds all have evolved branching, looping vessels that optimize flow and reduce damage. Capillaries, the tiniest blood vessels, curve gently so no tissue is left too far from oxygen or nutrients. This redundancy makes the system resilient. If one path blocks, others take over. Your body even adjusts these curves subtly over time. Cells lining vessels respond to flow. Smooth laminar movement keeps walls healthy, while turbulence triggers repair. The shape of your vessels isn't static. It adapts, ever so slightly, to preserve the quiet beauty of efficient flow. Outside your body, nature draws curves again and again. Look at a tree reaching skyward. Its thick branches stretch outward, splitting into thinner limbs, which divide again and again. This branching system maximizes sunlight exposure while remaining strong and flexible against winds. Rivers carve winding, dendritic networks, joining streams into ever larger channels, flowing smoothly downslope, avoiding harsh breaks. Even lightning, that fierce zigzag, follows paths shaped by natural forces, forking and splitting with fractal precision until it finds the path of least resistance. These patterns repeat on all scales, governed by simple, elegant rules. Fractals patterns repeating at different sizes solve complex problems with economy and efficiency. Nature doesn't design with rulers or drafting tables. It evolves, tries, adjusts over time, keeping what works best. From trees and rivers to lungs and lightning, curves spread, branch, and flow. They distribute energy evenly, stretch limits, and build resilient systems. Our human-made structures often mimic these principles, even if imperfectly. Roads, power grids, and city layouts sometimes borrow branching and curved forms to reach far and wide. We might strive for symmetry and straightness, but nature prefers a bit of chaos, gentle curves, and asymmetry to stay stable and strong. Interestingly, studies show our brains find fractal, curved patterns calming and familiar. Strolling through a forest or gazing at river deltas, you're immersed in this natural geometry patterns your mind seems to recognize on a deep level. This quietly reminds us that life's elegance is not about rigidity or sharp lines, but about flexibility, flow, and adaptation. So as you breathe in and out, slowly now, sense the quiet curves in your own breath, the twist and turn of life unfolding inside. Feel how your body, this miracle of curved design, carries on effortlessly every moment, one gentle bend at a time. Rest in this quiet flow, wrapped in the gentle wisdom of curves, shaping your breath, your body, and all living systems, each one a soft, resilient loop that supports life's endless dance. Now, drift softly into the world of light, a traveler that never moves in perfect straight lines. Like a river weaving through valleys or a ribbon twisting in the wind, light bends, sways, and curves on its journey through the universe. From shimmering rainbows to distant galaxies, and even the way your own eyes see the world, curves shape the story of light. Let's follow this dance together, gently discovering how the path of light teaches us about the fluid, flowing nature of reality, inviting your mind to drift, wander, and rest. Imagine light as a restless wanderer, racing through the cosmos at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. It's fast beyond all imagining, yet it never insists on a stubborn, rigid path. Instead, light curves like a stream flowing through a landscape, bending and twisting as it passes, over stones, dips, and hills. You can witness this with your own eyes. Dip a straw into a glass of water and see how it looks bent, kinked where it enters the liquid. This is refraction, the subtle bending of light when it crosses from one medium to another, air into water. The light waves slow just a little, gently changing direction, creating that familiar illusion of a broken straw. This quiet bending is the same magic behind a camera lens or your eyeglasses. Lenses are carefully shaped curves designed to steer light just right. A convex lens gathers rays inward to focus sharply, while a concave lens spreads them out softly. These curves allow images to form clearly on a camera's sensor or the back of your eye, a delicate choreography of light beams, dancing through shapes. But light's dance is not limited to tools shaped by human hands. Nature casts its own curved stage far and wide. Layers of warm and cool air bend light differently, crafting shimmering mirages across hot asphalt roads, golden pools that vanish when approached. High in the sky, ice crystals create halos and rings around the sun and moon, arcs of light bending with precision like a delicate celestial crown. And then there are rainbows, perhaps one of nature's most joyful performances. Rainbows appear as glowing arcs when sunlight passes through countless raindrops, each droplet bending and reflecting light inside like tiny prisms. The colors fan out at a very particular angle, about 42 degrees, so the rainbow shapes itself naturally as a perfect circle. Though from the ground we see just a graceful arc, if you could rise high enough, perhaps in an airplane, you might glimpse a complete circle, a glowing wheel in the sky, a dance painted with droplets and curved light. Even the shadows around you carry these soft curves. A shadow's edges blur into delicate gradients because the sun is no narrow beam but a large disk casting gentle, overlapping rays. This creates a penumbra, a fuzzy border where light softly fades, reminding you that straight lines are rarely found even in darkness. Now, take your thoughts beyond Earth, into the vast cosmic fabric itself. Gravity, of force once imagined pulling like invisible strings, turns out to be the bending of space and time. Massive objects such as stars and black holes create dents in the fabric of reality, like a heavy ball resting on a stretched sheet, curving the space around them. Light, traveling always along the straightest possible path through space, follows these curves. This effect, gravitational lensing, stretches and bends light from distant galaxies around massive objects, nearer to us, like water flowing around a stone, magnifying and distorting them. These arcs and rings of light are among the universe's most elegant signatures, offering glimpses into hidden regions, distant galaxies, and mysterious dark matter that reveals itself only by how it bends passing light. Think of light as a traveler, choosing the path of least resistance, bending to the gentle slopes etched by gravity and matter. Your own eyes, marvelously curved instruments, focus this complex dance onto your brain's canvas, allowing you to see the world in all its fluid beauty. Even objects as precise as lasers deviate slightly. Zoom in close enough, and a laser beam wiggles minutely. Zoom out far enough, and highways curve with the Earth itself. The shortest straight path on our round planet is not a line but a great circular gentle arc slicing the globe. The true path airplanes follow to fly most efficiently. This insight transforms how you think about distance and direction. Lines on flat maps are only convenient illusions, while actual journeys bend with Earth's curve, revealing a world shaped by elegant geometry all around you. Look up into the night sky from a dark place, far from city lights, and see galaxies spinning in grand spirals with floating arms coiling gracefully around glowing cores. These spirals resemble mighty cosmic pinwheels, patterns born from the interplay of motion, gravity, and time. Yet these swirls are not fixed or frozen. They ripple, shift, and spiral, like living things breathing on timescales far beyond our lifetimes. Within these shapes, stars are born and fade, energy flows, and the vast dance of the cosmos unfolds. On Earth, and within your own body, curves shape life in remarkable ways. Sunflowers arrange their seeds in spirals following the Fibonacci sequence, an elegant mathematical rhythm that maximizes space and efficiency. Seashells grow in perfect logarithmic spirals, adding to their shape without changing it, a timeless pattern repeated in horns, tails, and even your fingerprint whirls. Your body itself is a symphony of curves. Blood vessels twist and branch like peaceful rivers, veins return in looping paths, and airways in your lungs branched repeatedly to create vast surfaces for oxygen. Exchange all, guided by the gentle logic of curves for flow, strength, and resilience. These curved networks avoid damaging sharp turns, enabling smooth laminar flow that sustains life quietly and efficiently with every heartbeat and breath. Nature's curves do not just delight but function. They are adaptations honed over millions of years, supporting survival, growth, and balance. Even when human hands have sought order through straight lines, rigid grids, and right angles, nature continues to remind us. Life unfolds in spirals, arcs, and loops. Our cities might be drawn with rulers, our floors built flat, our lives planned in neat schedules, but beneath that order lies a world made for curves, a world designed for bending, flowing, and adapting. And so, perhaps the greatest lesson light offers you tonight is this: the universe itself does not march forever in straight lines. It flows, it curls, it bends, and in its gentle curves, it holds together all the wonder you see and all the mystery yet to explore. As you rest now, feel yourself carried on this wave, this slow spiral of light and time, gently winding inward and outward. The curves around you, your breath, your heartbeat, the path of stars above, invitations to slow down, to surrender to flow. And maybe, just maybe, this journey of bends and loops is the path that leads you gently into the sweetest sleep. Beneath the vast curves of galaxies and the spirals of seashells lies a quieter, pulsing rhythm, the heartbeat of life itself. Nature's patterns unfold in loops, repetitions, and fractals, echoing a deep order that feels both intimate and infinite. From the gentle rise and fall of your breath to the branching of trees and the flow within veins, life moves in curves of time and space. As you settle deeper into rest, let your mind follow this subtle pulse, discovering comfort in the graceful geometry woven through all living things. Now, as your eyelids grow heavier and the world softens around you, imagine the gentle rhythms flowing through all living things. Life, much like the swirling galaxies we admired, follows patterns, both grand and humble, loops within loops, breaths within beats, waves within waves. Your own body is a landscape shaped by these unseen geometries. Feel your breath as it flows, in and out, an endless curve expanding and contracting, neither starting nor ending, carrying you effortlessly through time. Each pulse of blood, traveling through millions of winding vessels, is another dance of curves, carrying warmth and life through your veins, threading the tapestry of your being. look beyond yourself to the trees around you. Even if only in your mind's eye, their sturdy trunks rise straight enough, but it is in their branches where nature's language glides, a sequence of forks and curves, splitting again and again, building fractals that maximize sunlight and space. These branches are not random but purposeful echoes of a quiet blueprint, allowing leaves to stretch outward without eclipsing one another. Here, complexity blooms from simplicity. Rivers tell their own story of gentle wends and splits. Start as a spring, a trickle, a whisper of water racing downhill. Those trickles join, fold in, and branch outward, creating a vast network of channels that carry life-giving water to valleys and plains. No river flows straight for long. Each bend is a harmony between gravity and the contours of the land, a delicate negotiation carved through millennia. Even lightning, that fierce crack across a stormy sky, rarely takes a straight shot. Its jagged, forked paths zigzag, searching for the path of least resistance, crashing and splitting before finally finding a way home to the earth. In its branching, it mirrors the same fractal perfection found in leaves and rivers alike. At the root of these repeating patterns is a form of quiet genius: fractals. Fractals are shapes that look much the same, no matter how closely you look. Self-similar patterns that unfold endlessly in nature. Imagine zooming down a tree branch to smaller twigs, then to veins in a leaf, or to capillaries in your skin. Each level reflects the same structural motif, a recursive loop that is both efficient and beautiful. This recursive branching is a way of solving problems that is elegant and robust, to cover a large area with as little material as possible. Nature branches to spread nutrients evenly or allow air to reach every cell. Nature branches again and again. Inside your lungs, your bronchial tree is a masterpiece of fractal engineering. It divides and subdivides over 20 times, packing hundreds of square feet of air exchange surface quietly and compactly inside your chest. Curves slow the flow when needed, easing oxygen into your bloodstream just as a gentle ramp slows a bike rather than throwing you over the handlebars. Your heart beats tirelessly, sending blood coursing through this labyrinth of curved vessels. Curves smooth the rush, dampening turbulence and preventing strain. 1,000 tiny arcs working in concert to keep you alive without pause. Evolution, over vast stretches of time, has learned that curves are fundamental to life's success. Cliffs absorb stress, distribute force, and adapt gracefully to change. A straight twig snaps, a curled tendril clings and climbs. A spiraling shell grows without shifting its shape. Even at the microscopic level, molecules fold in complex curves, their forms defining function in the dance of life's chemistry. Nature's curves also give rise to striking harmony. Consider the sunflowers turning their faces toward the sun. Their seeds spiral outward in Fibonacci patterns, a mathematician's muse made real by millions of tiny decisions unfolding through growth. This same sequence appears in pine cones, pineapples, and even in the twining vines that clasp supports with gentle spirals. These spirals are a form of growth that balances expansion and stability, allowing organisms to grow larger and stronger without losing their shape. It's as if life found a secret code, not written in words but etched in curves. Beyond shapes, curves also guide motion. The flight of birds arcs across the sky, not in tight, straight lines but in sweeping, looping paths that save energy and find the wind's kindness. Fish swim through water with fluid curves, their bodies bending gracefully to glide, pilot, and dart with ease. Your own mind often thought in spirals and loops as when a thought circles back, returns, and deepens. Even your dreams unfold, not as linear stories, but as swirling mosaics, moments folding into one another like gentle waves. And within this flowing, curving tapestry of living and moving, there lies a profound invitation. The universe welcomes imperfection, values flexibility, and embraces the unexpected bend on the quiet of your room. As the darkness gathers softly and the hum of night surrounds you, notice how these patterns ripple outward your breathing, your heartbeat, the gentle curves of your limbs resting in trust. There's a tenderness in curves, not just physical, but emotional and spiritual. Curves soothes, coil around your worries, and soften edges that might otherwise be sharp and harsh. Just as rivers meander rather than march, just as galaxies spin in spirals rather than circles, your own path need not be perfectly straight. It can loop, pause, turn, and spiral, each bend a part of the journey. each curve a quiet victory. Perhaps now, as you dip deeper into sleep's welcoming arms, you feel the slow unfurling of your thoughts like a fern uncurling its delicate leaves in the soft morning light. Let your mind be like that too, open, responsive, and tender. The gentle pulse of life's curves carries you forward and home. And tomorrow, when you awaken, the curves will still be there holding the world together in quiet wisdom, shaping breath, motion, light, and love. Let your thoughts spiral softly now, into rest, into dreams, into the flowing beauty of all that moves and bends. The curve is the universe's lullaby, and in its arms, you are safe. In a world so often obsessed with perfection, the universe quietly reminds us of a different truth. Beauty and strength come from flow, adaptability, and the grace of imperfection. From the delicate bends of tree branches to the gentle rhythms of your breath, nature's curves teach us how to move with softness and resilience. Tonight, let yourself be cradled by this wisdom as you surrender to the gentle arcs of life's unfolding, finding peace in the endless dance of change and renewal. As you nestle deeper under your blankets, feel how the world around you is never in quite perfect, and yet it is whole. A leaf is seldom a flawless shape. A wave has no straight edge. The path of a breeze across a meadow twists and turns, never hurrying, never insisting on an abrupt direction. The universe does not seek rigid perfection. Instead, it flows, bends, and sometimes even stumbles. Yet it continues its graceful dance. Consider a tree growing in the forest. Its branches reach upward, but not in a stiff, calculated line. Instead, they curve, twist, and bow with the breeze, yielding to the wind's gentle touch. Those curves do not betray weakness. They provide strength. A branch that yields is less likely to break. Your own body reflects this wisdom. Notice the softness in your breath as you inhale deeply, not harsh or forced, but a gentle swell filling your lungs before flowing out with calm ease. Feel the subtle curves in your spine, shaped not simply for uprightness, but for flexibility and resilience, letting you bend and stretch with grace. Imperfection in nature is an act of courage, a sign of adaptability, a kind of quiet brilliance. Stones and mountains weather storms and summers, their surfaces worn with unpredictable patterns that tell stories of time passing, of persistence. Even the stars are not fixed points of perfect light, but flickering, pulsing, living fires whose glow varies in an endless cosmic rhythm. Look closer still within the world of molecules and cells. Structures fold and unfold with almost tender complexity. Proteins twist into curves that determine whether cells thrive or falter. Tiny imperfections and flexes in these folds bring life's chemistry to joyful function. It's not accidents or flaws. It is the universe's way of weaving strength with flexibility, order with adaptability. This flow you feel, this gentle yielding, is what nature invites you to join. When you breathe out, notice how the air moves softly, never balking at boundaries but bending around obstacles, slipping through narrow spaces with quiet determination. Your breath is a curved river, endlessly renewing itself. Imagine your thoughts as petals unfolding, not flat pages of text, but swirling patterns of color and form, circling back to themselves, exploring, expanding, and retreating in a dance of learning and resting. As you listen, imagine the quiet curves of your heart's pulse, the looping pathways of your nerves carrying signals like gentle whispers of light. Life's language is spoken not in straight lines, but in soft arcs and waves. Even in moments of unrest or uncertainty, there is grace in letting yourself bend, not breaking, but adapting like a sapling, bending without snapping under a storm. In poetry, in music, and in your own dreams, we find the echo of this curved rhythm. The lines of a verse flow softly over the mind. Melodies rise and fall, circle and resolve. Sleep itself unfolds, not in a strict sequence, but in loops, spirals, and waves, each cycle drawing you deeper into rest. The wisdom of curves is present in art and architecture too. Ancient arches and domes stand strong because they spread weight along curved lines, not sharp corners. Those forms have survived centuries, quietly teaching us what sturdiness means. And modern design, from sleek cars to graceful bridges, now embraces curves not only for beauty but because curves work better. They allow movement, reduce stress, and invite harmony with natural forces. Think of your hands resting now. They are not blocks or rectangles, but wonderfully curved tools shaped for holding, feeling, and creating. The gentle bends of your fingers, the curve of your palm are invitations for softness, for touch, for connection. That as your body rests, your mind can also learn this flow. You need not push stubbornly toward a fixed goal or fret about straight paths. Sometimes, the gentlest progress is a winding one, a spiral, growing ever outward, a soft pulse moving rhythmically forward. Nature teaches us to expect change, to welcome uncertainty as part of the dance. When a river alters course, it doesn't panic. It simply finds a new path, carving curves that become graceful and efficient. Your journey through thoughts, feelings, and days can be just as fluid. There is strength in slowing down, in curving. With the inevitable bends and turns, the universe itself is not frantic. Stars take millions of years to dance across the sky. Planets trace wide loops rather than sharp angles, and galaxies spin in slow spirals of time and light. Time flows around you like a gentle current, not a rigid line you must race to keep. Up with dots. So tonight, give yourself permission to flow. Let go of the need to be perfectly straight, precise, or unchanging. Embrace the curves in your breath, in your thoughts, in the quiet moments between waking and dreaming. You are part of this great ballet of curves born from stars, shaped by rivers, growing like trees, and glowing with the same gentle light that spirals across the universe. As you drift deeper now, your mind can wander softly along those curves, a slow orbit in the vast cosmos of sleep. Your body, your breath, your heartbeat, they are all part of this endless flow. And in that flow, there is peace. There is home. There is the quiet joy of being exactly as you are, bending, growing, glowing with the gentle strength of a curve. Where does your mind want to wander now? Perhaps in the soft loop of a dream, or in a slow unfolding spiral of calm. Whatever path you take, remember, sometimes the curve itself is the journey, and in that knowing, rest comes easily, wrapped in the quiet arms of this curved, wondrous world. As you rest here, suspended between wakefulness and dreams, imagine the universe speaking, but it doesn't speak in words or numbers. It speaks in curves. The language of curves is quiet and subtle, flowing gently in the spaces between stars and roots, between the swirl of galaxies and the spiral of a snail's shell. Curves are the way the universe tells its story, a story of motion, life, and connection. Look again at the night sky. Among countless points of light, many swirl in magnificent spirals, whirls, and arms, spinning across cosmic oceans. These spiral galaxies are massive structures, thousands of light years across. Yet when you gaze at them, their shape feels intimate, almost familiar, like a sprawling fingerprint pressed onto the cosmos. Each curve traces the invisible rhythms of gravity, time, and momentum, quietly orchestrating billions of stars in a slow, endless dance. Down below, on our planet, the same shapes emerge like echoes of that cosmic script. When you watch a hurricane from above, you witness a swirling vortex, a powerful spiral carved by the Earth's rotation and warm air currents. It's a reminder that curves exist, not only in the heavens, but in the fierce breath of storms and the gentle curling of ocean currents. Even the smallest forms of life resonate with this language. The spiral of a pinnacone, the pattern of sunflower seeds packed like a golden puzzle, the double helix of DNA twisting in the cells of your body, each carries the signature of nature's most favored geometry. Why does the universe favor curves? Partly because curves are efficient. They carry energy and materials smoothly, without sharp edges that break, without sudden stops that cause strain. A curved shape distributes forces evenly, allowing structures to endure and adapt. The arches in ancient cathedrals still stand because they echo the natural strength of curves. The wings of birds and planes shape the air with soft arcs to glide and soar. Curves are also flexible, allowing movement through space and time that is neither rigid nor fixed. They adapt to conditions, bending under pressure, but never breaking. A river loops through valleys because it must adjust. A tree bends with the wind but does not snap. In this flexibility lies resilience, a kind of quiet wisdom, and there is something deeply comforting about curves. They invite the eye and the mind to follow, to meander, to explore without urgency or sharpness. Psychological studies show we find curved shapes more soothing and approachable, perhaps because they evoke natural forms we associate with life and safety. There's a poetry to it all. The curved lines we find so beautiful, spirals, arcs, and waves are the language that connects the tiniest particles to the grandest galaxies. They are the signature of a universe that moves not in rigid steps, but in gentle, flowing rhythms. Now, as your thoughts begin to drift, imagine yourself riding these curves, floating along the spiral arms of the Milky Way, tracing the looping path of the moon as it arcs silently through the sky, or drifting within the soft coil of a sleeping cat's curled tail. Feel the connection between the vast cosmos and your breath, your heartbeat, the slow pulse of life itself. You are part of this gentle geometry. Your body, your mind, your very existence are shaped by curves, shaped by flowing forms that bend, stretch, and renew. Life's story unfolds in spirals and waves, not in straight lines. As you breathe deeply now, let yourself move with that flow. There's no need to rush. The universe isn't in a hurry. It traces its path with patience and grace, and so can you. Remember the promise whispered in curves, that every twist, every turn, is part of the whole, imperfect, unfolding, endlessly beautiful. This is the whispered language of curves, and tonight, it is softly speaking to you. As you settle deeper into your pillow, wrapped in the quiet of your space, let your mind linger on the journey we've taken together through spirals of galaxies, the winding rivers of Earth, the coil of DNA spiraling within you, and the gentle curves in your breath and heartbeat. This final chapter is not an ending, but a return, a soft landing back into yourself, carrying with you the calm wisdom of curves. Throughout our journey, we've seen how the universe favors curves, loops, and arcs over sharp angles and straight lines. What once seemed the simplest path, a straight line, reveals itself as a rare ideal, a dream more than a reality. In nature and cosmos, curves are the rule. Curves guide rivers through mountains. They shape branches to catch the light. Curves spread the strength of stone in arches and domes, and swirl the galaxies in their slow, majestic dance. Even in the deepest reaches of space and the smallest corners of matter, curves dictate the flow of energy, momentum, and time itself. The universe is woven of these bends, folds, and waves. Now, as you lie quietly, imagine how your life, too, is a curve, a gentle winding path, rather than a straight arrow. Picture each breath as a wave, curling in and out. Each heartbeat as a spiral unfolding. Your thoughts swirl and eddy like leaves in a stream, looping back in patterns of memory and dream. There is no single direct route through your stories or your sleep, and that's exactly as it should be. Embrace the bends and shifts in your path, the moments that loop back, the detours that gently redirect you, the times when you circle softly before moving onward. These are not mistakes or delays. They are part of your rhythm, your story, your graceful growth. Human minds often long for certainty and clarity, straight lines that promise order, control, and predictability. But life is far more fluid. In the curve, there is flexibility. In the loop, there is return and renewal. In the spiral, there is growth that holds its form even as it expands. Just as the galaxies spiral, just as the rivers meander, so too can your experience flow with softness, resilience, and beauty. Tonight, let the gentle shape of curves carry you into rest. Picture the stars overhead, tracing delicate arcs in the slowly turning sky. Feel your breath rise and fall like the swell of ocean waves. Sense the rhythm of your heart in its soft, reliable looping. Know that you belong to this universe of curves, a universe that bends, adapts, and moves with quiet power. And as sleep begins to fold its calm embrace around you, remember this: not all journeys are straight, not all paths run direct. Sometimes the curve itself is the destination. Sometimes the beauty is in the turn. Thank you for sharing this winding road with me. If you're still awake, may you carry this calm ease with you. If your eyes have softly closed, may the curves of your dreams be gentle and kind. Until our next journey, rest well, knowing you are part of the flowing, endlessly beautiful geometry of the cosmos. Good night.